Hello everyone, P Record back with another one. And we got some clips of Nick Fuentes going off on Larry Ellison. If you guys don't know, Larry Ellison is the CEO or the owner of Oracle. And recently he bought TikTok. So TikTok was sold to Larry Ellison, so now he has control of that. Nick also goes into it saying that how his son got Warner Bros. Recently in Paramount, and now the UFC. Because if you guys heard the recent deal between the UFC and Paramount, so lots of interesting stuff. He's just calling out who's really behind Israel and all that, and Larry Ellison's the backbone of Netanyahu. So I'm gonna let the clips play. All I ask is if you guys could like, subscribe, comment down below in the video. Helps me out. So I'm gonna get you guys into Nick Fuentes. So we're gonna have a good one.
Trump is directly intervening to force China to sell their U.S. TikTok business to an American consortium. And Trump is giving that business to Larry Ellison. A newly created entity is taking a 45% stake in TikTok's U.S. business, and Larry Ellison is taking a major role in that. He's going to own a significant stake in that company, and he's going to take a major role in securing TikTok. So consider, Israel's got this problem. Netanyahu is a close friend of Ellison. Ellison is a problem solver for Netanyahu. Ellison is one of these American Jewish oligarchs that works for Netanyahu, like many others. Netanyahu has a problem in Israel. He picks up the phone and he calls the loyal American Jewish billionaire Larry Ellison. And by the way, why is this dynamic so important? America's the biggest and most powerful country in the world. You can't amass a $300 billion fortune in Israel because Israel's economy is negligible, because their population is negligible. Israel doesn't have institutions like we have. They don't have companies, universities. They don't have a market like we have. They don't have capital like we have. So an American Jew is empowered in America, becoming one of the most powerful individuals on the planet, which you could not do in Israel, and then serves at the pleasure of Israel's government. You see? And he has power not just in the world, but also in America. His citizenship is extremely valuable. His ability to build an American company is what made him so rich. And he uses his citizenship, his ability to interface in the political process in America, his ability to tap into the American market and capital markets and other things to create this fortune to then serve Israel. Israel has this problem. Netanyahu picks up the phone. Ellison answers. Ellison uses his connections through the Republican Party in American government to gain control over TikTok. And that's how Israel acquires a Chinese social platform that is all powerful in America. And what else do they do? Larry Ellison underwrites his son, David Ellison, his acquisition of Paramount Pictures, as well as potentially Warner Brothers. And now they will own all the media together. They will own TikTok. They will own CBS, TBS, HBO, HBO Max, Showtime, Nickelodeon, UFC streaming. They're going to own all this stuff. And they're going to use their ownership of all of it to help Israel. They already are. David Ellison is going to buy out Bari Weiss and her publication, The Free Press, going to give her a $100 million payday, and just made her an executive at CBS. She is an Israeli spy. She was trained up by Yoram Hazony. She did internships in Israel with the Israeli military and Israeli government officials. She was mentored by Jews like Bret Stephens in America, Yoram Hazony in Israel. She is an Israeli spy. And she's going to run CBS. And she got a $100 million payday. They're using their fortune as secular Jews. Bari Weiss is a lesbian. She's got a wife. Larry Ellison's an atheist. They're using their fortune to help Israel for no reason other than they're Jews. Israel's a Jewish state. They're Jews. This is what they're doing.
It's facts, man. Straight up, straight up, it's facts. Um, I mean, he just said it right there. Larry Ellison is. He was born in America. Everything's American, right? He worked his way up the ladder, right? Of becoming a billionaire. And instead of serving, the American people, or not the American, but like you would think he's gonna ride for our government. Nah, he goes to Israel, and he obeys Netanyahu. One of our top billionaires goes to Netanyahu, so now they have him as an asset. And then he's over here buying TikTok. Um, what else? His son got Paramount. I thought they got Warner Bros. They're gonna get it soon, maybe, but yeah, dude, this stuff's crazy. It's like Nick said. If Netanyahu has a problem, he just pick the phone up and he'll call someone. Because Larry Ellison's got connections with Trump and the Republicans, and he's an atheist. So I don't like that. All right, next clip for you guys is gonna be Nick was talking about his view of Trump's relationship with the Jews in Israel, and okay, I thought I saw something else. He's gonna give his insight on the whole Trump thing. I have my own opinion on it, but yeah, I ain't trying to take too long and cut you guys from seeing the video. So here you guys go.
On him.
Why do you think Trump is unable to oppose Israel, if he is? Did Epstein have dirt on him that they are threatening to expose? Is he being threatened with assassination? I don't think Trump is a weak man. He took the shot to the head like a champ.
It's like anything else. I mean, I don't think they have blackmail on him per se, although they might. I think that he's a boomer. He's a lifelong Republican. He's a lifelong friend of Israel and the Jews. He did real estate in New York. His father did real estate in New York. His daughter is a Jew. His grandchildren are Jewish. The Republican Party has been inextricable with Israel for decades. So I think how Trump considers is that Israel is just this political reality, and he looks at it as part of a much larger equation. It's just part of this equation with the government shutdown, with the border. It's just part of the broader political equation. And I think he doesn't want a war with Iran. I think he wants the war in Gaza to end. But the president is surrounded by people he really can't trust. The information that gets to him is curated. The options are curated. He has a very pro-Israel Secretary of State / National Security Advisor. The Israelis are vicious. They fight ferociously, and they fight for one thing. So I think that it's not that Trump is weak or even necessarily compromised. It's just that, well, I guess he is weak. He does not have the wherewithal or the energy or the focus. He's ideologically not sound or solid enough to recognize what a threat Israel is and to forcefully push back against them. So I think he basically relents. I think he acquiesces to Israel because they are just ferocious. They push so hard. They're so intense. They're so powerful in America. In a sense, he sort of needs them, doesn't want to upset them. He's not even really against them. He's not a religious anti-Semite. He's not, like ethnically critical of Jews. He's not even like politically critical of Jews. He sees them as basically part of the solution. I think he sees Netanyahu as just sort of like giving him a hard time, being like hard-nosed. That's how they see it. That's rough. That's the rough sketch that I would draw. Now, maybe there is so much more to the story. Maybe he's being blackmailed. Maybe they've threatened to kill him. I mean, that's possible. We don't know what we don't know. If there is something stranger than fiction, if there is something clandestine going on, by its very nature, we would have no way of knowing that. We couldn't prove that. There's no evidence of that. On the contrary, like you said, he seems to be a strong figure. He seems to be motivated by the right reasons in some ways. So for him to go out and give a press conference like he did today, or to continue to support Israel, I don't think they literally have a gun to his head. It doesn't seem like they literally have a gun to his head. What it seems like is he's a tired old man that's fighting 1,000 battles. He's basically friendly to the Jews and always has been. And I think he just sees them as vicious, tough negotiators that want more than Trump wants to give them. And maybe there's a limit to how much he could be pressed, but he could also be manipulated in other ways. Because the Jews are very tricky. You know, they're very tricky. They move very quickly, quietly, silently, in the shadows. They're unreliable. They're untrustworthy. So I think basically every president just gets hoodwinked. I think that every president finds them to be extremely difficult. And for political reasons, they're constrained. And they try to push back, but they can't really. And they really hate Netanyahu, but they can't do anything about it too much. It would kind of need to be like their thing. Look at like Kanye, for example. Look at Kanye, look at Mel Gibson, look at any of these types. Somebody like Ye, if he wants to criticize Jews, look at the rigmarole he has to go through. If you want to go against the Jews, that has to be your only thing. You will be cursed as the anti-Jew guy. They will rally the Jews against you. They will make it a thing. And if you want to dedicate your whole life to being that guy, then you're in the fight. And if you don't, then you find yourself apologizing for the sake of expediency. I think that's basically the predicament people find themselves in. If Trump were to forcefully push back, he would become extremely unpopular with the Jews. They would make it hurt for him, and that would just become like the sticking point. It's like, look, you can either go along to get along, or we can really make this hurt for you. And the question is like, do you want this to be do you want to live and die by this stand that you're taking? I think that's kind of what it comes down to. And Trump is obviously ideologically not even against Israel, not against the Jews, not against any of it. So he just sees them as yet another faction or force, just another political reality to deal with, like the other countries or donors. So that's my rough sketch of what I think he is.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own opinions about it. You know, I had my own thoughts. I thought Trump was like that. They were what do you call it? That basically Trump was over there. That he was basically, I thought, because I heard stuff that they had Trump by the balls, and that Trump, that he's on the low right now. Like he can't do anything. But what Nick said about, you know, Trump just like at his age, you mean, I get that opinion too. You know, I get that side. You know, Trump's probably over it. He's probably like, at this point, man, these guys already have the power. You know, there's only so much I can do. You know, so I think he just accepted that reality. You know, so I think he does what he does with Netanyahu because of that. But yeah, I think he does. And I've heard stuff that Israel, that they are tough, you know, in the way they go about things and all that, you know, that it's not a good thing, you know. Yeah, comment down below your thoughts on the whole Israel stuff. So I will take you guys into the third clip. If you guys don't know, it's Hassan. I think his name is Hassan Riker. I think something like that. He does basically what I do, or like how everyone does, commentates over political stuff, right? So I guess he had an interview, a New York Times interview, and Nick was just going off on him. He was just calling him everything in the book. I mean, you guys gotta hear it for yourself, but yeah, I'm gonna play this, but he called him, yeah, you could already see I called him an idiot. But yeah, here you guys go. Here's the clip of Nick Fuentes. Started from the beginning.
Nothing in the news. The one thing I watched today is an interview in the New York Times between Hassan Piker and Ross Douthat, or Douthat. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. But he's like a big Catholic. He's been around forever. And I watched this interview, Hassan and New York Times, and this guy is just an idiot, man. And here's the thing. I don't care if somebody is right or left. If they're intelligent, if they have an interesting perspective, I watch and I listen, because I'm always looking to learn. And you know me, I'm not really a partisan. Of course, I have very strong views and I'm very far on the right wing, but I'm very, I think, open-minded, and I'm always open to hearing a new perspective or new information. And I read the right and the left. I watch the right and the left. And almost all the time I don't agree with the left, but I do listen. And I watched this interview today, and it was just brutal. They're asking Hassan. So one of the questions, they finally get into it, and the interviewer says, "So Hassan, what is your cause? What's your goal?" And he goes, he says, "I'm in favor of social democratic reforms." And the guy goes, "What does that mean?" And he says, "Well, I think that's far in the future, but we just need to make society more democratic and have people have more choice in the workplace and undo the systematic violence of capitalism." And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what does that actually even mean? When they start getting into this Marxist language, you just got to say, time out, stop. What the fuck are you talking about? They say the imperialism and violence necessary to uphold the system, and we just want more equitable and better outcomes for people. And it's like, yeah, I think everybody wants everybody to be happy. And in the end, finally, they cut to the chase, and he goes, "We need free healthcare and free education." And honestly, I just can't stand the left anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong. On this show, we've really been focused on these other dimensions of the political conversation. We're talking about billionaires. We're talking about the oligarchs and how the political process actually seems to work. And that has made me a skeptic of the Republican Party, too, a deep skeptic of the GOP and the entire constellation of conservative Republican institutions, the media, the think tanks, the nonprofits, all of it. With that being said, the left is still retarded, and it still is just all about, when I see Hassan Piker, when I see Zohran Mamdani screaming at Tom Homan about the First Amendment and the stupid shit that they're pushing in New York, it's like it makes me want to become a Republican hack. Do you ever get that feeling? It's like you spend enough time watching Republicans and you say, maybe I'm a communist. Maybe I am a national Bolshevik, and these guys are owned by Israel. They're owned by the rich. They hate their own constituency. They're just as bad as the left. Then you spend any amount of time watching these progressive cocksuckers on the left, and you're like, damn, I am signing up with Raytheon. I am signing up with the oil and gas industry. I'm signing up with Netanyahu. We got to destroy the left, man. I'm signing up with Stephen Miller. There has to be a third way. There has to be an alternative. And that's not a dog whistle for like third positionism or anything. It's just, we really need our own party. We just need to form an America First party. We need to form a far right party, because these other two sides, they're just odious. They're absolutely unacceptable and horrible.
Straight up facts, dude. At this point, I mean, if you guys don't know, there's a government shutdown right now as I'm recording this. And, basically it's just Democrats blaming the Republicans blaming Democrats, you know. That's all they're doing. Both sides. And I like the Republicans, you know, but both sides are doing it, you know. So I agree with Nick on that you should have a far right party and make that another party, you know. Like an American First Party or something like that, because at this point, dude, I mean, these idiots can't get nothing going. If our own government can't get nothing going, I'd rather have, I think Nick and some other people can actually get stuff done. Call me crazy. I actually believe that. Okay. I got a clip right here, a short clip. Just letting you guys know, Nick's not gonna, he's not gonna do his show on Monday or today, Friday, because he is doing 4 collabs. He said big collabs too, so he's gonna be on a couple podcasts, I'm sure. Those should be coming out over the weekend. And oh no, he said several big collabs. I thought 4, now he said several. Okay. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting though. So here is the clip.
A couple of other things. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I will not be doing a show tomorrow, and I most likely will not be doing a show Monday either. But it's for a good reason. We've got some big collaborations coming up, and I don't want to spoil them for you, but some of them some very highly anticipated conversations. I think you're really going to like them. And it's a good mix. We got 3, maybe 4 collaborations coming up. And they're all great. They're all fun. And they're all different. They're all a good mix. So you're going to get a lot of content. I really should have spaced them out, but I said I'll just knock them all out at the same time. So it's going to be an interesting week in terms of content. A couple of other things. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I will not be doing a show tomorrow, and I most likely will not be doing a show Monday.
Okay, I'm overplaying that. But yeah, so I wonder who these collabs are going to be with. That's my question. I think he said some big ones, so I'm guessing he already did PBD, so I don't know where else could be at. But we'll see, though. We will see. Alright, I got this last clip for you guys. Because people always say Nick hates women. He doesn't. He just don't like. Yeah, what you guys see right there. I agree with him on that. So, we'll look at this, and then that'll be the end.
As a Groiper mom of 2, I also love watching the show while in the kitchen. Somewhat new to this side of things and was just getting into Matt Walsh/Candace Owens when my husband mentioned you. I no longer waste my time with them. The future is Fuentes. If that's lame, would love a roast. Congrats on the generational run.
No, that's not lame. I like the 30 Rock reference, one of my favorite shows. Thank you very much. Love to hear it. I love the Groiper moms. People think I hate women. I don't. People think I hate moms. I don't. I love moms. I love women. I just don't like bitches. And I think women get that. You know what I mean? I think my mom said that about Candace Owens. She's like, yeah, she's a bitch, you know? And then like women know what that means. Women know what it means. You got women, and then you got like a total bitch. And women don't want to be a bitch, you know? They want to be pleasant. They want to be attractive. They want to be lovely. They want to be loved by men. They want to be loved by a man. And I think every woman recognizes you don't want to be known as like a total bitch, like loudmouth, obnoxious, assertive, that sort of thing. And maybe that is not true of like a feminist generation, but I think if you're from a certain culture, you know what that means. If you're from a more traditional culture, like in the South, let's say, or in more of these like a traditional ethnic background, like Catholics or Orthodox, you know what that means. No, I don't even think women want to be that. And women know the difference. Anyway, not that that has much to do with you, but I do appreciate it. Love to hear it.
It's facts, you know. I agree with that too, you know. I think there's 2 types of women. You got bitches, and then you got women, you know. And the ones that are bitches, you know, usually aren't good, you know. Like you said, they're obnoxious. They just do whatever, you know. Pasta. I mean, you can name the whole thing, you know. But a real woman is gonna love you for who you are, you know, and you just gotta find that, you know. So, yeah, I just wanted to show that because everyone says Nick hates women, which is stupid because he always talks about just because he talks about women a lot. It's like, okay, bro. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of it, guys. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on these clips. This was of yesterday, the 2nd, Thursday. We're probably not gonna get none today because Nick is, like he said, he's not gonna stream or do a show, you know. So I'll link down this show below, and yeah, everyone have a good one. This is Pure Record out.